Join your host, Ross Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Bihil Online Radio and Kankali Radio. Ross Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibrations. To win in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Ross Bishai and
Island Size Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes, caps, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarves. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts, and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship berth in Kingstown. Our telephone number 784-593-6338. That number again, 784-593-6338. It's Island Style.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and making significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
Welcome to the third program. Getting some feedback from the third program for the year 2024 of Stepping into the Light at Bay Radio, Nixon, Kankari Radio, Canada, and Fun City Radio, New York, and Politically Incorrect Barbados. These are the sister stations of Bay Radio, which are carrying this program live tonight. It's the 141st program since we started on the 4th of January 2021. Yeah, that was a little theme song, Exodus by Bob Marley. From saying my autotap to all listening and following this program. It's good to be with you again for another program, so link up your friends, etc., and invite them to listen to the next program with your host, Ross Bishai. Yes, as we always give thanks and praise to the Almighty Creators, and then we hail up our ancestors. Yes, these are the reason why we are here today. As is. Glory to the Lord, glory to the Son, and glory to the power of the Most High, Jah Rastafari. Blessed be the race of His Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie, and Empress Mary in one perfect balance. Almighty Creator of the universe, and I give thanks for your love, for your care, and for your guidance throughout the time, and for bringing me here for another program. Keep shining the light into our path, so that I may step into the light and onto Mount Zion. Blessed be the race of our ancestors, the Netaru, which walk alongside I always, keeping our feet from slipping and falling, our hands from stealing, and our mouths from slander and idle speaking. And they call and got it, got us smart, and 42 divine one from creation to keep our people firmly rooted on the 7 basic principles of truth, order, balance, harmony, law, morality, and justice. Even light over darkness, mind over matter, and good over evil every time. Ashe. Yes, people, thanks for being here. We thank the listeners, the new listeners. We welcome all the new listeners tonight to this program. And the old listeners, well, you are the ones who make the program a program. We also thank the owners and operators of Bihil Radio, Kankari Radio, Fun City Radio, and Politically Incorrect for carrying this program worldwide. And of course, the sponsors of this program. Yes. So here we are on this night, Tuesday, 27th day of August 2024. So what are the happenings? What are we going to look at in this program? But first of all, we are in the final month of summer in the Northern Hemisphere for 2024. And you know this country is in the Northern Hemisphere, north of the equator, okay? So summer officially ends on the 22nd of September. So we are into the final month. We have 22 and 26 days left in the summer this year. Started on the 21st of June. Okay? So autumn starts on the 23rd of September with what is called the autumnal equinox. And in farming, we say that is the beginning of the short days. That's when the moon starts, the sun starts arriving later in the morning and leaving us earlier in the afternoon. It won't be so noticeable until later in the year, but that is actually what happens from the 23rd of September. We're also going to look at the biodynamic planting by the moon phase guide for the period Wednesday, the 28th August, that's tomorrow, to Tuesday, the 3rd September, that's next Tuesday. We'll look at that, and that information guides a lot of farmers, a lot of people listen to it, and help them to produce better crops, do better farming, plan their work better. And the major thing that we're going to look at tonight and reason about is the first Ital Fest in St. Vincent Grenadines, and you as the indigenous, not native people call it, I was held on the 24th, at Saturday last, of August 2024. We're going to look at its impact and its significance, and where do we take it from there? Where do we take it from there? So we have a packed program tonight. Packed program. Yes, people. Yes, I was just finishing off the summer and the equinox. Yes, so we are getting out of the summer and into the autumn. But the autumn days, the first set of autumn days will still be humid, and that is the time of year when we get most rainfall. Most of our daily rainfall, weekly rainfall, monthly rainfall. October, November are known historically as the wettest months in these parts of the year, wettest months. So be prepared. It's a good time to have your water storage infrastructure up. And a lot of people should have them now because many were given to this government, to give them to the people of this country through the government. Many have not received, and some have received more than they could handle. But that's for another program. But get your water storage equipment and infrastructure. Make sure that your gutterings are well fixed if you have any. If you don't have any, try and get some and make sure you collect water, because from the middle of December, the rain ceases dramatically, and there is need for food every day and every night. And in the winter, as we will see later in this program, we have a lot of agricultural catching up to do. A lot of agricultural catching up to do. So make sure you store as much water, even though you're growing in small containers at home. Whatever you're growing, so that you have some water to wet your plants, irrigate your soil, wet the soil, during the driest of times. Okay, so we're going to speak about the event that took place on the 24th, that was Saturday last. It went down at Armsville, first St. Vincent Grenadines Yearly Slash Eiffel Fest at the Armsville Plainfield entrance. It had 12 stalls and one tent. Those were the infrastructure. 12 stalls where vending were done and a musical tent. Okay? I must say that the atmosphere there for me, once I went there, it's the first time I could recall being in a public function, open public function, and having such a pleasant atmosphere. Everything clicked on that day. Everything had to be naturalistic. The weather was fine. The audience, not really the audience as such, because much more than the audience. The gathering was fine. The performance was fine. The display, everything just clicked together. Everything was in harmony with nature and with the higher powers. And you didn't even hear anyone there strooping the teeth as such. It was so beautiful and magnificent. It was in a very, very high vibration event. I haven't seen anything else like it in this country in decades. Nothing like it. Okay? And it took place in an atmosphere where we have a lot of challenges as far as agriculture and agricultural development goes. But I will start with the first basic statement, which is a universal truth. And that is, there is no culture without agriculture. There is no culture without agriculture. So I want to bring up everyone who made this thing possible. Right? The organizing committee for the idea, those who came up with the idea first of all, and for the implementation. I want to bring up the sponsors, the participants, and the vendors, and those who play the music. And as a matter of fact, I am going to bring up the sponsors and so on by using this opportunity on behalf of this program, and I myself, and of the Rastafari community, to publicly bring up the sponsors and the participants. I know you will get an official thank you and big up from the committee, but this is from this program and this radio station and from this building, Rastafari. List of sponsors, we have first of all the Bank of SVG, big up to you. Department of Culture and National Cultural Foundation, big up to you also. ECGC, that's the Eastern Caribbean Group of Companies, right here in my hometown, Camptown City. KFC, Kentucky Fried Chicken. Highland Brewery, again, right in my hometown here. Imperial Pharmacy. Jama Services, big up to all of you. Jumbo Products, big up my brethren, big up. Roy Fly Edwards, always giving us support when in these times and to these well-deserved causes. Big up, Fly. Ministry of Agriculture, yes, you have to be here. Big up to you. Ministry of Tourism, definitely, you're one of the bigger beneficiaries of this whole thing, as we will see later. Morals Grocery in Middle Street there, yes, Moral and family. National Properties, take a bow. Sadiq Bean, yes sir, Think about Subway. We all know Subways right on the middle of what we call back street, right there facing the, the gas station and the entrance, one of the entrances to Paul Avenue. Subway, big up Bex and everyone else, and my brethren, my Muslim brethren, you know who you are. Big up to you. Sumas FBG, Sumas FBG, big up, big up. And St. Vincent Grenadines Sport Authority. These were the sponsors of this event, and your sponsorship was well represented and well manifested, and has been able to lead and to create a vibration that will take this country higher and higher and higher and forward and forward and forward, as we will see in this program. Those who actually had tents and were exhibiting and selling products, those who had ITEL products, whether they were food products or they were non-food products, still ITEL, because, take for example the craft. A lot of the craft come from agricultural products, wood, animal hides, and these sort of things, right? So all these things are agricultural products. In the people who operated in Tent 1, Carol Balcom and Bobby's Fruits, big up to you. They had the fresh produce there, the lovely watermelons and pineapples and whatnot. Big up, big up, big up to you. And we're going to tell you exactly how you could be, what avenues have been created by this event to allow you to take advantage of an existing market right here. Yes. So we go forward in this program. Tent number 2, integrated and rehab. And Nivette Isles Craft. Big up to you both. Right. Tent number 3, Summer SVG and Enlig Design Jewelry. Another set of lovely craft people there. Beautiful. Tent number 4, Unity Bakery and Island Going Green Chocolate and Plants. Well, you don't know. Yes, hey. Unity Bakery, possibly the oldest existing bakery in this country. Because those who I knew when I was small have long since departed. A Unity Bakery is probably in the 3rd generation at least now, and going strong. Island Going Green Chocolate. Yes, when you come to this country and you need a lovely, refreshing chocolate, check Island Green Chocolate. And of course, check out plants for your garden and your house, your home. Tent number 5, Medicinal Smoke Shop, one of our leading producers of medicinal marijuana, medicinal cannabis. And they had some lovely exhibits there and lovely products on sale. Medicinal Smoke Shop. Tent number 5, big up to you. Tent number 6, which was one of the bigger tents, the ITEL Fest Committee, Valley Heights Kitchen, and Sandra's Kitchen. Now, before I go any further, I would say that on looking at it, everybody did well, but I want to particularly build up the women in this thing, because a lot of women are involved in ITEL and craft in this country at a very high level. Very, very, very high level. And it's something we're going to speak a little bit more about later in the program. So big up to Sandra's Kitchen, Valley Heights Kitchen, and ITEL Fest Committee. In tent number 7, again you get to one of the leading female craft and food people, Takai Creation. And you have Akibu Kitchen, Kim Streets, beautiful food. I am Enterprise. I hope I have that one right. And Geneva's products. All these people were in tent number 7. Tent number 8, there you have the beautiful groupings. Nubian flower and new flower. Nubian flower. Take a bow, everyone. Take a bow. Take a bow. Rastafari. Tent number 10, Kings and Queens Delight and Bingy Brong. Wow. Look on the videos and you will, by now everyone should know who comprise King and Queen Delight and of course Bingy Brong. Okay? That was in tent number 10. Tent number 9, Angie's Vegetarian Snacks and Natural Beats. Big up to you both. Big up, big up, big up. Angie's Vegetarian Snacks and Natural Beats. And these people had some unique products, right? We're going to go into a little bit of those foods in a little while. Tent number 11, Abuja and Evans Teas. And Abuja, of course, was one of the principal organizers of this fest and one of the early thinkers with the idea of the event. So big up to you, Abuja, and family, of course. And tent number 12, Scott Cane Juice, and of course, one of our leading, if not the leading, in agro-industrialists. I'm not speaking about the big companies like ECGC and so on. I'm speaking about local products. Urmin Foods, you know where that is? At the bridge, if you're going out of town, the top bridge at Annesville to go to the VG Highway on your right, and if you're coming in, it's on your left, just before you cross. If you're coming in, cross the reach at Massey in that area. Big up to you, Andrew. Yes, Urban Foods, where you get your lovely gluten-free flour products made from different root crops. Yes. So all these people had stalls, and of course, they had their products there. And big up to the people who went there, the participants, not just the crowd, the massive gathering who went there throughout the day and had a lovely feast on a lot of the delicacies. Lots of people went there, people who never even thought it at ITEL came and full joy themselves. And everyone was satisfied. You could see the look on their face. And the children were there and they had a lovely time playing and eating. And that is the sort of atmosphere we need in St. Vincent and in this land, you hear me, especially on weekends when people who have worked for a whole week need somewhere to loosen up and loosen up in a healthy fashion. Healthy fashion. So everything went sparkling well. So there were lots of products there which some people saw for the first time and some people who were accustomed to. And the visitors there, of course, had I would say, for a first time, had a good number of visitors, both Caribbean and non-Caribbean visitors. And all, according to the vibes there, some that they expressed were satisfied. And so much so that the great majority of people who were there early in the game, they start calling that this thing can't be one-off thing. It has to be at least once a year. Or some people say several times a year. Now, that is to show you the hunger and the love and the desire people have for these kind of events. So again, big up to the planning committee, big up to the sponsors, and big up to the people who made it happen, right? And made it a reality. Yes. Idol Fest 2024, 24th of August. Okay? Blessed day, a mystical day. and which made all the hardship we have gone through in this region, in this country over the last 4 years, from the fake COVID, from the internationally fake COVID, right up including the volcanic eruption, the harsh dry season, and our friendly burial, right? Those were the major events. We still were able to come up with this high vibes event, this mystical event, and put it off 100% successfully. So that is where we are right now. Beautiful. That's not to say that it doesn't have growth. It has many, many areas in which increase and improvement have to take place and will take place. Have no doubt about that. Because the desire is there in the heart of the people to carry it forward. When you see that we have products like breadfruit roti, and when I say breadfruit roti, I don't mean the breadfruit is the thing um, replacing the Irish potato in the roti. I mean the roti skin is made from breadfruit flour. That's how we go in. And the ingredients inside have things like chickpeas and other, vegetables and so on. And people were feasting on them. The only comparison I could remember in my lifetime of these products were in the 1974 National Agricultural Exhibition, which culminated a period of a year and a half, almost 2 years, of a program called Agricultural Revival. People said back to the land. That was during the junta time, junta government time, when a lot of private estates, several private estates, were nationalized, taken over by the government and for use, like Lauderdale Estate, where the farmers themselves, the people of Lauderdale themselves, settled the boundaries without any dispute, and it's still going today. But the drive is a drive that we need now, forward to the land. We need that drive now, and this ITIL Fest has emphasized that and magnified it many, 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 many times. Now, what was the national, and still is as we speak today, the national climate, food, health, and agriculture before this event took place? What was it? Those who are following this program would know some of it. Those who are listening for the first time, let me just give you some brief indicators for this program. Okay? First of all, we are operating, unfortunately, or we have been, we're not operating, but we have been trying to be brainwashed by a policy for the last 20 years, which originated from outside of this country and forced on this administration. No doubt about that. So there's not even an argument there. Right? Because those around will tell you that, those high up in the administration, that agriculture must be placed on the back burner and that we must run with another mono industry, that's the tourism industry. Well, I don't have to tell you where we are. You just walk the streets of Kingston any day of the week, especially like today, like tomorrow, like Thursday, and you would see and feel and taste the lack of the money that was among the common people before this philosophy was implemented from a governmental side. Okay? In our calculations, we are missing close to $5 million a week among our local rural people. $5 million from the agri-food and agriculture sector week. That's where we are missing that. So that is one of the characteristics in which of the present situation in the times when the ITEL fest is taking place. Our production, our overall production, agricultural production in the country has fallen significantly, both for local consumption and for export. And I've been calling the data out on this same platform for a long time. What I'm going to do, I've been advised by some people who been listening for a long time, and people who are really interested. I'm going to put some pamphlets together, some small booklets together, and charge a small fee for them, so that money will go towards keeping this program alive. But the information side is worth more than 20 times the fee you're going to pay for the book, so that you will know exactly where I'm coming from, where this program is coming from when I speak about our food trade deficit and our food import bill, annual import bill. And you will see exactly why there are so many people in Kingston, in every block, begging for $1, begging for $5, begging for something, or begging for a piece of food. And why, when you go somewhere to eat, what we're supposed to have in the plate is not there. Not because the people don't want to put it, but they can't get it to put. And then the other thing is that a lot of the food prices have gone sky high for a long time. And there are some people who are so daft, they say, take place all over the world. Well, it not even makes sense to tell them it's nonsense. So you just let them go with their belief. Because sometimes because of the density of a stone, some stones, you can't keep them afloat. Stones don't float. Put it in the water, it dense in the water and go to the bottom. So let it go to the bottom, don't go down with it. Okay. Now, in St. Vincent and Grenadines, we have presently a food import bill, locally annual per year, of near to 300 million EC dollars. I'm going to give you some data for some groups we're talking about here now in 2020. Vegetables, including seeds, imports in 2020. Seeds, like seeds, as we just call them. Tomato, sweet pepper, lettuce, these things like plants, cabbage, and so on. We imported $282,000 worth of seeds. Okay? Fresh cabbage, we imported $521,000 worth of fresh cabbage. Fresh broccoli, we imported $288,000 worth of fresh broccoli. Head lettuce, we imported $357,000 worth of head lettuce. Carrots, the crop that we used to export regionally, weekly. Ask anybody from North Leeward, especially from the Chumuka, Belmont, Rosa area. We imported $807,000 worth of carrots in 2020. Sweet peppers, we imported $294,000 worth of sweet peppers. And the mixed vegetables that we get frozen, and you see when you go to the supermarket, some frozen mixed vegetables in packs. We imported $468,000 worth of that. And celery, celery, something you could chuck right in your home, even in a small glass, with some drainage holes. we imported $82,000 worth of celery. So between these major vegetables, and I haven't given you all, I didn't give you beets and all these things, that's about $3.5 million worth of vegetables we import. Now, why am I saying this? This is an ITEL fest. Vegetables are a major part of the ITEL, right? Food. And here, our production is at least $3.5 million short a year. So that's a market right there. Okay? Because if we import them, we don't have them here, we import. That is not to say that is all the market, because a study done by the top regional food and nutrition institution in the Caribbean, CARICOM, and authored by Dr. Henry out of Jamaica, published a few years ago. It says that study done specifically in St. Vincent and Grenadines. 3 countries were studied, and we were one of them specifically. We the people, on average proportion, consume only 33% of the required healthy intake of vegetables needed. So the amount of vegetables you should eat a day to be healthy, the minimum amount, right, proportion, we only eat a third of it, 33%. So between what we eat and between what we do not produce, there's a massive market. And things like the ITEL Fest, the ITEL Fest, I see, is one of the biggest engines to push this market, to push the production, the preparation, and the consumption of this. And in doing that, it will push the health status of the country, the nutritional status of the country, and the economic and financial status of all involved. The producers, the suppliers of inputs and seeds, the people who do the transformation of the food, people who prepare the food and cook the food and so on, and the people who trade. So it's a win-win-win-win-win situation. That is why I say that this ITEL Fest is a massive, massive thing that happened, and has shown us that the philosophy that was being pushed on us, that agriculture is a thing of the past, is total garbage in the biggest letters you could write it in. Yes. If this was a game, like a 2020, and the bowler was the one who said that agriculture is a thing in the past, I was a ball, well, that ball get hit so far by this ITEL Fest that you can't find it. It's more than 6 runs. You have to bring a different ball. Yeah, that's what it shows here. Yes. The atmosphere again in peanuts and peanut butter, and big up to those who are selling nuts. I mean, we can't grow all the nuts, so we have to import some. But our local peanuts still a staple. And we were producing this to such a high level up to just 20 years ago. And I know this, I am not asking you this, I am one of the professional people who worked on the development of peanuts in the 1980s, working with Cali, where St. Vincent and the Grenadines, along with Belize, were the 2 leading per capita peanut producers in the entire CARICOM region. And we were so competitive that bigger countries, I'm not speaking about CARICOM countries, massive world powers were afraid of us that we would cut into their market. Well, not their market, but the market that they wanted to control. So here we are today importing $378,000 worth of peanuts. Can you imagine that? We moved from exporting peanuts through a marketing corporation, or marketing board as you call it, where farmers used to make money selling wholesale, where local people used to have peanuts on every street corner in the trade and so on, to importing $378,000 worth of peanuts a year. And some people will tell you that ain't nothing. Well, move with that when they say that and say, I ain't nothing. It make no sense. And we imported $288,000 worth of peanut butter. So in all, we imported $666,000 worth of peanut products in 2020. Now that is another market, because with the skill I'm seeing here among the people, a lot of them who participated in the ITEL Fest, they could transform our peanuts into peanut butter and make peanut butter right here, at least for our local population. We really at this time of our development have no real need to be importing peanut butter here in that volume. No way. When we have the soils, even better than some countries that produce peanut to make soils. We have the knowledge, we know what inputs we need, and we have people, what we need now is people willing and ready to work together to produce it. We have the people who know how to transform these things. So I'm saying that by the second annual ITEL Fest, we should be producing more peanuts. We should have worked into that market locally here, get the production up, and get the products out there. Okay? We're going to go in a little bit of how we do that later in the program. Then there are condiments, there are three foods that we use a lot. Three foods that we use a lot in this country. Even in ITEL. One that I think that we should replace, and a lot of people think so, significantly using local products. I'm speaking about Irish potato, garlic, and onion. In 2020 we imported 3 million, yes, that's million I'm saying, $3,939 worth of Irish potatoes into this country. Now, when I look at the quality of chips that my Rasta brethren and sisters make here from different things, including breadfruit, sweet potato and these things, okay, plantain and so on. When I look at the foods that Irish potato are using, like I mentioned the roti and chicken and chips and these sort of things, we have lots of food here that could replace these things. We don't even have to grow the Irish potato here, because the people who follow nutrition properly will tell you that it's not the best of food for our people. It has a low glycemic index. Check that out and you'll see what that means, okay? Basically, it means that it could encourage diabetes. It's not a melanated person food, so to speak. We have things here, eddos, yams, sweet potato, tanyas, and if we treat the dashi in the right way, that could fill this gap. $3,939,000 a year. A massive gap. Massive market right here. And with people who are already into the fast food, big up companies like Subway, getting the right products here to put in the thing, that would be a win-win for everyone. So we have work to do. We have a lot of work to do. Good work anyway. Onion, but every year for the last 10, more than that, maybe 25 years, we've been bringing in over $1 million worth of onion. 2020 we brought in $1,039,000 worth of onions. And now that we know that onion is more than just a food, a daily food use in cooking and salads and so on, but it has medicinal properties that goes into herbal medicines, especially red onions. It's all the more necessary and vital for us to start producing onions here again as we did in the 1990s and do it in a sustainable way. Thanks to the ITEL Fest, you have opened the eyes of a lot of people because a lot of onions are used in ITEL preparations. Garlic is similar to onion. In 2020, we brought in $1,046,000 worth of garlic. So between the two, we have over 200, over 2 million, $2.75 million worth of market right here. And because onions are sold by seed and sown by seed, which are fairly reasonably priced and affordable and could be produced in a quick time, we could not wait and we should not wait on government. We could reduce our importation of garlic by much more than 25%. Much more than 25% in the next 2 years. As a matter of fact, we could produce all the onion rather we need in 2 years, right in this country, and convert that money that goes out into local money among farmers and vendors right here. Garlic will take a little longer time because the garlic planting material is expensive. And we're talking about organic garlic. We're talking about garlic specific to countries like us. But within 3 years, we can be self-sufficient in garlic. Because we have the knowledge, all we need is the unity and the cooperation working together. Right? So these are markets available to us. So nobody can ask, wait a second, no, they are already sold. These are the markets right here. We are the market for somebody else's produce. So why not be the market for our own produce? Okay? So between Irish potato, onions, and garlic, it's an annual market of $7,377,900. Now, in terms of peas, legumes, this is one of the areas where we will still have to be dependent on imports. We will still need to import. We cannot produce everything we need. We're not naive. But we can produce everything that we can produce, that is, we have the ability to produce, and we should do that. So when it comes to legumes, first of all, the same report by Dr. Henry says that we only eat 35% of the daily required minimum nutritional level of legumes to remain healthy. It doesn't mean whether you eat meat or you don't eat meat. You still have to eat legumes to stay healthy. Legumes mean peas and beans and lentils and these sort of things, right? And the ITEL Fest had as much of that as it could have had, and it also shone the light on the need for us to increase our production locally of legumes. Black eyed peas, string beans, pigeon peas, what have we? Yes. So that when the people who made those lovely pots of callaloo soup on Saturday have access to these things, the consuming public will have much more food to eat and much more nutrition to get. And we do it to a level so that we become internationally famous. When you go anywhere in any other country and people saw when Carlo say, why they say rich no when they've been Carlo, it tastes in Carlo? Because all the leafy parts will come from foods here. Whether it's wee or spinach or dashi leaf or young tanya, whatever, it will come from right here. And we're going to see how we're going to do that a little later in the program. So we have to up our production of lentils, not lentils, of legumes. Of course, lentils are an African food, so we should still continue to import our lentils from our African people, because as Marcus says, Honorable Marcus says, Africa is for Africans at home and abroad. So why not trade with our people and get the lentils? The other category is fruit juices. Now we have seen a proliferation of fruit juices in this country locally in the last several years. That's a good thing. But we have much more to go, much further to go. Much further. Right now, you're seeing passion fruit, and you're seeing golden apple, and you're seeing tamarind. Okay? These are the things of local food you're seeing right now, because those are the crops that are available right now. But on an annual basis, we have been importing, in 2020, we imported $2,754,500 worth of fruit juices. Now, that is an industry that we should just organize together and man-control, woman-control, right there. Okay? So our fruit juices together is like almost like a $4 million market. Because this is just the imported ones, we're not talking about what we consume locally. We should just woman it up, man it up right there among ourselves. We have to do that and make it ITEL fruit juice. ITEL right through, including what we sweeten it with. Make it a nutritious drink. Now, while on juices, I must say that there are foods which some of them are almost unique to us, which we have here, which we have an advantage over a lot of countries. Some other countries have to. And I want to big up my friend, the vendor there who sells in Kenmar building. On that drink you made, that drink you created and called Stallion. I think you have to promote that drink. You must promote that big up time. Right? Now, we produce other juices here, and we have to get to the level where we are so organized collectively that even some of these same private sector sponsors, and more to come because this activity has already started to whet the interest of people who want to come and invest in our agricultural sector right here. Yes, I'm telling you, it just took place on Saturday, but it's already awakened the eye of non-Vincentian and outside people who want to come right here and invest with our people, not just at a capitalist level. No, that kind of investment is out. That kind of ripping off investment, we're not going down that road. And we're talking now as Rastafari, as ITEL people. Not necessarily Rastafari, but as ITEL people. Because not everybody with ITEL Rastafari. Okay? We have a bigger population than that ITEL population from what was shown on Saturday. But we have a good mindset, everybody in the same vibes. So the people who are in the same vibes, let us use our harmony and our collective wisdom together and make sure that we develop the economic potential of these industries right here. As we creators, we have to start creating things like that. And we're not waiting on any government, anyone. We're doing it and we're leading. We are the leaders. Of course, when the time comes and there are areas where we could work together, we work together. But as far as leading the way and stepping into the light is concerned, we are the ones with the vision. We are the ones with the drive and the positive vibes. Let us go out and do it collectively. Organize, centralize, and realize. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's how we have to do it. So when you look at this whole thing, the ITEL Fest has been, and is not just has been because it's still living in people's memory right now, is a big, big, big success. Okay? So right now we're going to ask our sponsors to identify themselves, big up, take a little break. When we come forward, we're going to get into the biodynamic planting by the Moonface Guide, and then we're going to see the way forward for this ITEL Fest. We are going to see the way forward. I'm going to give my own personal ideas, and I want you to reflect on them, and you can give your own personal ideas by sending something to the station or texting something to I, or when you meet me say something, so we could start putting our thoughts and our ideas and our vision together to create the whole. Okay? So right now, I'm asking the station to give itself some ID, and in the meantime, you link up who hasn't linked up as yet. Yes, Monty, over to you.
www.bayhillnews.net is a parent body of Bay Hill News Network. We do Facebook Live for church service, funeral service, lecture, sporting activity. For more contact at bayhillnewsnetwork@gmail.com or call 1784-529-8340.
This tasty roti skin can be found at Randy and Bonnie Supermarket, or you can order this tasty roti and skin at 1784-528-2979. That's 1784-528-2879.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and making significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankali Radio.
Thank you! Island Size Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes, caps, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarf. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts, and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship berth in Kingstown. Our telephone number 784-593-6338. That number again, 784-593-6338. It's Island Style.
Hi friends, what's happening in your corner? Beta Group meeting, a sporting activity, a community activity, some upcoming events. Whatever is happening in your corner, let us know. We share it on Kankadi Radio. So email us at kankadi.radio@gmail.com. That's CANCARDI.radio@gmail.com. We are in your corner.
Join your host, Ras Bishai, for Stepping into the Light at Bihil Online Radio and Kankali Radio. Ras Bishai steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibrations. To win in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Ras Bishai.
Yes, people, we're here, and I am urging you to patronize this radio station, Bay Hill Radio, okay? Yes, in every way possible. Get in touch with Monty and the others there, and they will tell you what all services they offer. Thanks to the sponsors. Now, the biodynamic planting by the moon phase guide, this is a guide for this period, tomorrow, Wednesday 28th, to Tuesday 23rd, the 3rd September. This guide is something that a lot of farmers depend on. And when they meet me, they tell me that. And I want you to follow it because I have been using it for quite some time, and I prove that it gives me the best quality of whatever I plant and whatever I harvest once I follow it as close as possible to the letter. Okay? Now, the moon, as you know, has 4 phases, or you should know. The first phase is called, we're starting from the new moon, okay? In terms of phase. It's what we call a lunar cycle, Lunar, the cycle of the moon, where it moves from one stage to one phase to the next. It's called waxing crescent. The moon in a small stage when it's new, and you see it in the shape of the moon, it's a crescent moon, and it starts waxing, means it's getting bigger, waxing. And it comes right up until that stage comes up until it reaches the first quarter. Then it moves from a waxing stage, from a crescent stage rather, to a gibbous stage, means a rounded stage, Gibbous. And it's still waxing because it has to get bigger until it gets right up round to the full moon. So it's now waxing gibbous, moves from waxing crescent to waxing gibbous. And it goes to the full moon. Now when the moon is full, it can't get any fuller. So what happens? It starts going now down to the last quarter. That's the 3rd phase. You call that the waning gibbous. The gibbous is now waning, getting smaller. That's the 3rd phase, the waning gibbous phase, until it gets to the last quarter. And then from the last quarter to the new moon is the 4th phase, which you call that the waning crescent, because by the last quarter, it's no longer gibbous, it's a crescent, but it's getting smaller until the moon gets new again. Okay? In a subsequent program, in the next program, I will explain the whole science behind that to you. Did it already in several programs over, but those we have a new set of listeners now, so you hear that science. So in each phase of the moon, there are some specific things to do to make the ital we're talking about, ital plus raise up all this thing, to make the ital more vital, have life force in it. You could plant something any time of the moon you want, but it won't have the same vibration as if you plant it at the right time. That's the science. Okay? So right now, tomorrow we are in the waning crescent form. Okay? And this, in terms of sowing seeds, it's a barren phase. It's not the best time to sow seeds in terms of the life force that will you get from the plant that come from the seeds. I'm talking about seeds, I'm not talking about seedlings. Setting seeds when we say sowing seeds. This is not the phase of the moon recommended for that, unfortunately. Okay? It's the phase when you take some rest from that. But it's a good time, excellent time to harvest and store crops. Any crops, harvest and store crops. It's a good time to fertilize your fields. Excellent time, the best time. It's a good time to transplant. So if you had seedlings before, not seedlings, you can still transplant. And it's the best phase of the moon, Not the only one, but the best place to clean the land, clean weeds. Yeah, old people used to say, I don't know about the people now, but in my time, the old people used to say, when you see the moon getting old and weak, it's the best time to clean up your land. That is what they meant. This phase is the best time to do land cleaning. Okay? And you can also mow lawns and prune trees. Mow your lawns and prune your trees. This period is excellent for that. And those are the recommendations for Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Monday next is the 2nd. Tuesday, next, when the next program is due, is our new moon. And that day, because of the alignment in the heavens of the moon and the planet called Saturn, it's an excellent day to do any pest management. I don't just say spring, because when I say spray, some people think you mean put chemicals and things. No, I'm not talking about that. I don't recommend, I don't use, and I don't recommend using chemicals, toxic chemicals. There are a lot of pest management products that are ITEL, made from natural plant products. Okay? Our neem plant is one of them. Garlic and pepper are two others. Right? We have some right in the kitchen. Baking soda and so on. So we're going to deal with those in a later program, but the rest is spray. And you could also spray. Spray is just the action. But you could also spray onto your plant or onto the soil of your plant, especially if you go in containers and so on. Liquids, like liquid organic fertilizers and compost teas. So when I say spray, spray is the verb. But what you spray it, the product you spray it, that's the noun. So I'm saying it's a good time. Tuesday, next Tuesday is an excellent day to do that, because some days in the moon cycles, the Earth, rather the moon, is in opposition to Saturn. And that astrological formation allows the vibration of pest management to be done better on that day. Our old people knew that, our ancestors knew that, and that knowledge has been passed on. So that is your biodynamic planting guide for from tomorrow till next Tuesday. I hope you make the best of it. You have seedlings to put out. The weather is good. You're getting a little shower here and there. Although you should irrigate, wet your plants as soon as you put them in the ground. But do not avoid planting seeds at this phase, in this phase. Save your seeds for when the new moon come up, especially above the ground crops. But those seedlings you have, and those trees you have, you could put them in the ground now. Okay? All right. So, how do we go forward using the positive vibration of this ITEL Fest to get us where we want? And where we want is to have everyone as healthy as possible, everyone as healthy as possible, and everyone as wealthy as possible. But before we get there, I want you to take a little lyrics from the brother Bob, because Bob has been my principal teacher in terms of lyrics and the message in the tune. And this little tune says a lot. Okay? The stone the builder refuse. Yes, the stone that the builder refuse. In this case, we're talking about agriculture. That the stone that the builder refuse, and it will be red cornerstone, shall always be red cornerstone. Because, as we said before, there is no culture without agriculture. And if we want our culture to flourish, agriculture must be the stone on which that foundation is built. All our culture. All our culture. Before I go any further, I just want to pick up the DJs in that Idol Fest. The music was just fantastic. Not rushy, not fussy, but just the music just held everything together. And whoever chose those tunes, they have to build them up. Whoever chose those songs, they have to build them up, Everything went perfectly well. Yes, my brethren. Okay, so now I want to look at the way forward in terms of a couple themes: organization, centralization, production and marketing, economic development. But first of all, I must say to the organizers and to the participants, I don't know how aware you are, but you have created a lot of valuable intellectual property on Saturday. I should say we and I have created a lot of valuable intellectual property on Saturday, including the camera people, the press people who are there, right? And we have to guard, we have to safeguard our intellectual property, both at the individual and the collective level. We have to do that and make sure that we benefit from it and nobody steal its value from us. Okay? Remember that. That's very, very, very important. In terms of organization, I will give you what I think. I'm not saying this is you, but I like to throw I'm an ideas, and when we combine it with other ideas, we could put it together and see how it works. Okay? Based on the feed forward that people were saying, I spoke to a leading Vinci brethren in the CARICOM area on Friday and told him where I was going. And that was before, this is the night before the festival, Idol Festival. He said, Bishop, this thing needs to be done more than once a year. It wasn't even held yet. I didn't even know the present experience I would have had on Saturday. Hey, see, I'm saying that this thing needs to be held more than once a year. Right? And just so the majority of people who were there and experienced it said during the fest, not only finished, during the fest. So I'm calling for the organizers to use the committee they have there and as needs be expanded, but to have a permanent standing committee. A permanent standing committee which will meet once a month. You don't want to tell people out, and this might be a voluntary thing to start with, and no time and expensive people here. But your commitment to get together the first thing we write on that vibration and to plan the way forward. Meet and review and suss it out so that when you meet once a month, and I'm proposing that we have some representation of the fest. It might be as big as the one we had on Saturday, but some representation of the fest 4 times a year, once a season, once per season. We just had one in the summer season, or less. So I am proposing to have one somewhere in November. That would be fall or autumn season. I am proposing we have one in February. That will be winter season. And I'm proposing we have the fourth one in May. That will be the spring season. And if we keep the major one as August, then if August next year will be a national. But I am saying that we have something. The committee plans some activity, some positive activity for at least 4 times a year. Because this vehicle, this vehicle ITEL Fest, from our perspective and from others who have reasoned and come up with the same logic, is the best vehicle we have had in this country to take our agriculture and our tourism forward. Never mind about the rest. They would have their funding and their staff and all that thing, but they're not doing, they won't have half the impact. They have not half the impact that this ITEL Fest has had in its first showing on Saturday. I'm telling you. Look at the films that the videos that have gone out and see how many people have looked at them in the short space of time and how many shares they have had. And they have gone internationally. I'm not knocking any tourism or any other organization, just saying that they do not have the impact and the effect that this gathering has had, the vibration from this gathering ITEL Fest has had on Saturday. So then big up to all sponsors, creators, implementers, vendors, participants, consumers, everybody. Big up. Yes, we have the potential here in this with this festival and organizing it properly and making sure that we gather intellectual property because a young brother who was there on Saturday said correctly, content is money. So we have to be streaming this the next one internationally. That means we need professional people. One day you have to start preparing yourself, you know. People with drones and so on to beam this thing live all over. So a man coming from work in Afghanistan could just link up and see it and say, wait. And you will see all until me. Somebody now coming out of the industry in the car factory in Japan say, ooh, look at that. So this is progressing, field is progressing. Because Japan has 20 items there, and you have to pay a significant part of that, of their tourism to their tourists here. So we have the ability to change our tourism from what is now a little seasonal thing, and then that thing like now you could, the place is slow that you could almost play 2020 in Back Street most half of the day, every day. You know? Yeah, we have to bring that $6-7 million a week that is missing from our economy, our local people, right here, using that same ITEL Fest as one of the main pillars and using agriculture as the stone, because that stone will give rise to culture. And when they come, they're not just coming for the food, they're coming for everything they see in ITEL Fest. Including those lovely craft and art and cannabis and music and medicine. Yeah, come right up with it. We will be known as the country of healing. You're sick, you come to BC and you get healed. I tell you, yes, that is very good. And when we link that into our educational system at the youth level, you see the youths who are there, and who forego themselves that energy they get, that will be a lifelong lasting memory for them. Yeah. I remember 2 weeks were there and they, 2 young boys, and they were about, I would say, not 9, 10. Maybe was one would give what he had me say. I said, will you give him what the items? So I inquired, they were not giving me the items. So I said, what do you need? Because I was in a position to afford something small, and they said they want a roti. And I was happily standing close to the breadfruit roti stand. I said, yeah. And if you see how these guys partake of that roti, you think that memory will out of the mind? The thing is a roti? No, that's something that's going to grow. So the youth's already into it. So we have to now make sure that we build on that and put everything concerning the ITEL and UOT into the educational system. The benefits of it, health benefits, the products, how you make the products, how you get the products, the organization, everything. So by the time they get in the late teens, they will already be a team player in the ITEL Fest in the future time. That's how we do it. Speaking about foods, one of the things that we have to do in the organization and the centralization, coming out of the centralization just now, is to have standard principles in the preparation of our foods. I love what I saw there on Saturday. The people who are frying and cooking, they are basically using coconut oil, and that's where we have to go. Because today, if you don't know it, let me say it here, and you should know it. These oils that you see we have been importing here, I have to get that data for you in the next program. The value of the oils that we import here, and we are forced to import. We have been forced to import these oils since this very fall through in 1989, 1990, and force our leaders in the region to downplay our indigenous coconut oil industry, to allow them to force on us corn oil and soybean oil, both of which are genetically modified. And you see what happened? We have an exponential growth of obese people in this country. Women getting big and fat and they don't know what they're doing. They don't know how it is they're doing it because I'm not blaming them. They don't listen in the genetically modified products, particularly the oils. There are others too, but particularly oils. And some and a lot of it also in the imported meats, because they feed the animals genetically modified corn and genetically modified soy, and that same protein gets into you, and before you know it, you could hardly come in your house door. You know? My brother was telling me, you know why people sleep on a double bed and no time to have a back king size because she got so busy taking a trip out in bed. You have a little space. Anyway, that's for another time. Yeah, so we have to organize and standardize the oil. The two oils I am recommending right here now that we should be using in our ITEL on a daily basis where you're cooking, whether it is coconut oil or palm oil. Both of them are African because we are African right here. African at home and African abroad. Coconut oil or palm oil. And that is why we have to now big up our local coconut industry. We have to improve that. We have to expand that. And at the same time, we have to support those people who are making local coconut oil here at all different levels, all different types of extraction methods. And we have sufficient in the region, good quality. So there is no excuse not to use these oils. Health-wise, obesity, high blood pressure, hypertension, okay, they prevent these things. So that is one of the recommendations there. In terms of the centralization, again, we have to take the various people who are involved in dairy, use and sale, production, preparation of items, and form a national link where they can communicate with each other again at least once a month. Meet it somewhere. You don't have to meet physically. We have the technology now, we can meet online. We see this business we're going into right now. We're competing against people in the world who want to feed us and feed us what they feel they should feed us. So we are the cutting edge now to prevent that from happening. We are the cutting edge. And that is all this thing that I help us open up, to work together now. So we link and we suss it out, we exchange we come to agreement and we do things at a standard level and make sure everybody on the same page and the same footing. And everybody move with the same vibration and we going forward. So when it comes to put on one of these quarterly things, no small vehicle, Saturday went smooth. Saturday went smooth. And we move from there and we get into the marketing production system now, and that is where people like Iman come in. Yeah, I come in, I this is where I come in, and the people who I'm linked with come in. Because I'm going to make sure, and I'm going to make sure, I know my people, my good company, organic people, I tell fertilizer people, you know, what Rasta used to say 10, 15, 20 years ago? We create the language. If you bring food, I tell to us in those times to our neighbors, when you put food with organic fertilizer, organically, we call it I tell. When you use other thing, we call it you tell. Right? So right now we are going to I tell first, everything in it has to be I tell. Everything must be I tell by the next time. Everything. The food that is coming has to be grown organically. And that is why we have to link, we have to organize and centralize. So we're linking the producers with the people who produce the food, the people who transform the food and cook the food and make different things out of it, products out of it, food preparators and the vendors and so on. Must be on one page. So I will now is to make sure that the farmers have the right inputs to produce the ITEL. The soil is growing, is fed biologically. So when you go to someone and you buy whatever you buy from them, that someone will have the farm will be, the farm itself will be certified ITEL, organic, right? But ITEL is even higher than organic. So what you buy in there is ITEL, and what you prepare it into is still ITEL, and what the person eating is ITEL. So it's ITEL right through the whole ITEL cycle. And then when we get to that level, and we see people start eating and feeling, drinking, medicine, whatever it is, craft everything, and the feeling of different by when the feeling new, you will see the type of tourism you will have in this country. You want to know all those different ads and all those different ambassadors and so on couldn't pull people here. Because the vibe rests with the ITEL first. Okay? The vibe rests with the ITEL first. As a matter of fact, I have a little rhyme here. I think you could call it a poem. But I'm going to give it to you now. Say, ITEL first, we know you are the best in the entire West. No one just can test. I ain't no worry about the rest. Because ITEL first provide the best. Never mind, it did not have much stress. But within time, it showed you will make progress. Making our problems less and less. Calling NI people to talk sense and not commerce. Forward, forward, ITEL first. Yeah. So we have to get to that level. Production and marketing. And while on production and marketing, I must say that Now, those who listen to the last program, it's still on YouTube, so you could YouTube it, and that's a good thing it would be here now. Eh? Program is on YouTube, so you can go to the YouTube and type in Step It Into the Light, the Rough the Shy, and it will come up. This will be the last program where we have to make these marketing production linkages and we to a level where we we the people who started this item first, whether you're a sponsor, you're organizer, you're a creator, you're a vendor, you're a consumer, whatever, we collectively will be able on a weekly basis at least the space allotted to us and the American before that we like and sell it out there. Yeah, we can't plane come here and go forward through space. No, we have to do that and Caribbean Airlines also because we have a big market. We have consumer population of Vincentians and Caribbean people in all the diasporas. America, Canada, United Kingdom, the rest of the Caribbean. Yep, that is how big this fest is. This is how the opening up of that market is. So, for example, somebody up there say, "Boy, I tired eating them kind of snacks here, boy. I could eat some English snacks." Yeah, you know the names. You know, yeah, I could eat some small little strips and so on. Of course, we got it up there. We got it up there. The people who come here, they remember coconut water. They remember the coconut jelly and so on. You know? Say, and we start pulling people out by the taste of our food because at the production level, nature is going to guarantee that we produce the best quality food in the entire region. I'm joking about that. We're full on way to that already. It's just a matter of small time. It's just a matter of small time. But we're giving the farmers the information we will be producing, the input soon, but we're giving the farmers the information right now, all the time. But when someone tastes our food from Vinci, it tastes that beautiful food, and you say, this food has to come from Vinci, like it. No food tastes like that. We have the natural soil to do it, so let us apply the knowledge we have and make it happen, and the love we have, and the togetherness and the oneness. Before I go further, I want to big up, and I say big up, and when I big up people on merit. I don't care where you come from, what your philosophy is. Once I see your action speaking louder than your words, and that's why I get people by the action, I begin you up. Okay? I saw 2 of our subject to correction. I left there about 8, I will left before 8. And up to that time, I saw only 2 of our parliamentarians there. The person I thought would have been there, at least for an hour or 2, my good colleague too, the Minister of Agriculture, he was missing in action. And this festival was more about agriculture than any other culture. It was forced about agriculture. And I thought that in my own way, you should have been there. Never mind what else you had to do. Your face was you were missing in action, brother. Okay? Now, Honorable Fitzbramble was there. And the Honorable Camille Gonzalez was there. And they were not just there like the peeping. They were there fully participating in everything. And grumbling with the crowd. And I think that everybody who saw that thought that was an excellent thing, not just good, but excellent. Excellent. And I saw also, this is not a parliamentarian, but it's a past, my good friend Jumo, but Jumo is an item a long time. was there. Lots of other people were there. Lots of other people I saw. People who own restaurants were there, like my good brethren, Sid, ex-national cricketer, Sid Murphy, Campton resident right now. Okay, he was there. So it shows that people in permanent positions were there of their own accord and with their own interests. And once we have that kind of attention to draw people out like that and have them participate from an inside feeling, we know that we're on the right track. So let I build on that. Well, I build on that. People must love to come St. Vincent for the natural beauty, the beaches and the thing over there. We didn't make those. We met those there. The Almighty Creator made those things, right? But you see, like the food, the medicine, the ambience, the culture, including the music, and the love, we have influence on those things. We have tremendous influence on those things. And when talking about the food, I want to talk about the brain food and the body food, the cannabis, medicinal, all cannabis are medicinal. But we are, I'm putting out a challenge here to our, what is labeled as our traditional marijuana farmers. Local growers, right? A lot of who are in the Rastafari community. You see this market that we had here that we lost, local and regional, and even ex-regional, we have to be more competitive. We have to be much, much more competitive. We have to tighten our belt, put up the pants. Talking about pants, one good thing about the gathering is that you have nobody coming inside with no pants below the waist and them kind of thing. Because we're not tolerating that kind of dress in our Idol Fest. No way. You dress properly and you come to the Idol Fest. But getting forward to this thing, we have to go the best. We have everything necessary to go the best cess in the West. So nobody can test. And we bring everything to the Idol Fest. I'm telling you, whether it's in medicine, in drinks, or whatever, or we could get into the nutraceutical industry, right? Where the lotions and these kind of things, yes, cannabis can make these things, powder cannabis can make these things. The oil industry, the health oil industry, or the smoking, whatever, relaxation. You notice how the mood out there was different than it would be in somewhere around 17? We get the bad spirit, the bad vibes coming in. We have none of that. None of that. None of that at all happened on Saturday. So we have to recapture our market and make sure that we are in the market too. And one of the ways to do that is to go quality herb. So I'm going to take one of these programs coming soon and explain basically how we go top quality herb. Because enough money going top quality herb. Enough money going top quality, and they don't know why. They don't know why, so I'm going to point some ways why and how we do it. And because going top quality herb makes top quality medicine, and a lot of medicine come from herb. Yeah, and it's our duty to heal people with everything. So we're going to talk about that, just like the food. So that's the production marketing style, and now from that now we get to the production side, we get to the marketing. Where we follow the Marcus Garvey philosophy and get our black style line again. So committee won't have to do all the work, but you would have to do the delegation and the work. That's why the committee has to be flexible. And you have to do the pointing. And you already have a route with the private sector. These people who are sponsored already. So we know we could expand on that to get where we want. We know we could expand on that to get where we want. So that we have the Black Star Line going, and when we're ready, we put on a shipment, weekly shipment of lots of products, ITEL products out of here to whichever market destination we're talking about. And in addition to that, the local market for the products I mentioned earlier, in terms of what we're going to produce, what we should produce, when we put everything together, Kingston and other communities on a weekly basis would look like what it should look like. We should have circulating among the people nothing less than an additional $6 to $7 million a week among the ordinary people circulating. Nothing less. Could be plenty more. Because when you add in the effects of healthcare services and healthcare savings and of course tourism at all different levels, hotel, guest houses, private houses, whatever, it could be a tremendously more than this. So that is where we're going. That is where we're going with these vibrations. And of course, not leaving out of that, we're talking about the communications part of it. Our people here who put the pictures and the images together and send them outside. Our people who project these things outside, very, very important part. When we link everything together, we have a package which is a winner. No two ways about that. No two ways about that. And this is not about no partiality, no ignorant skill in this. No this side and that side in this is a oneness. It's a oneness society that we're creating. Very true. That is how we get out of the darkness and step into the light. So why we do that? We know that we're defeating all the evil and wicked people. We're not talking about this country anymore who want to control countries like this through their finances and their political trickery and ownership of parties and control of parties and these kind of things. And cause turmoil. We're getting out of that phase. You know? So to help us get out of that phase, we want to hear the message that Silver sent them some years ago, the wicked man. Because where are we going? We know right now the righteous have to stand. So, my brother, bring it forward. Yes, the wicked man will have to fall. Yes. So, you see the seal that I tell first boss right now? And open the possibilities and the vision and the light to where we can go and where we should go and where we must go. We're holding up everyone. Forward we're going. Forward we're going together. Just the same vibration that was there on Saturday. Everybody worked together, everything harmonized. It's the same vibration we're carrying forward. We're just magnifying it to a higher level. A higher level. So soon, all this is more than this pull here, this pull on the tourism, this international pull on the tourism, regional, extra-regional, international, outer-national pull that this ITF is putting out. Once we do our promotions properly, and of course, as I said, guard our intellectual property because a lot of people out there ready to steal it, eh? Just like you have a pretty last in the going on here. And before I conclude, yes, we're going to make sure that that happens. Now, just an hour before I started this program, I was coming in my gap in the way I reside here in Camptown. And the lady at the first building in the gap, a businesswoman, shop owner, but still a farmer, was telling me, he said, look, you know, I went up to the farm today. I don't normally go on Tuesdays, but I went up to the farm today and met all my Tanya's stolen, harvested, and just on the plants on the ground. Now this previous last thing is getting out of hand. It's not getting, it's out of hand. And I know that the ITL first organized properly and linked with other things could help significantly reduce that previous last me. So I'm putting out an appeal force to all the vendors, all the people who transform products, agricultural products, from a natural base form to some finished product, whether it's food, drink, medicine, or whatever. Do not buy from people who have a feeling did not produce it themselves stealing. Let us start let I start the pre-lasting from that side. Okay? Yeah, depending on the state right now, because the state not interested in this, so obviously. Let us start from that. Refusing to buy anything that we have an inkling about that is stolen, never mind how much it's selling it for, it attractive to the price. Okay? We must make sure that the person who's selling has some formal thing to say. Either they produce it by having their own farmer's ID card or some receipt from a farmer, an official farmer, to say they bought it from them or they got it from them. Right? So let I and I start with that. And really, so when we sell the item, I know stealing it. There are no cost on it. If they leave anybody crying for the food. Okay? So let's go through with that. And big up to all. Remember they say, you have any plantings to plant in the ground this already germinated and ready to put out? Put them out this week. Put them out. Put them in the ground. Let me go there and produce. Whether you're using the field itself or you're using planting pots or whatever, do it and make sure that we have food to eat. Okay? And have a blessed, peaceful, productive week, rest of the week, rest of the strong, as I would say. Love you all. Until next week, Tuesday. We will have an open mic sometime where you could feed forward and say where you are, what you're thinking, how you feel, give your ideas. Right? And remember to support Big Hill and its other sister radio stations. Love you all. Until next week, it's Exodus.